Darelle Duncan has just started writing poetry thanks to the influence of her fellow poets at the Paris American Academy. She says she's on a one-man mission to bring back the rhyming couplet.
I said one woman.
Oh, I'm sorry, one-woman mission. She hails from Sydney, and her Aussie humor is evident in her poems. Darelle Duncan.
Okay, well, that's all quite true. And I've got two poems for you tonight, and one is, I hope will be amusing, and I'm going to ask you to join in, and the other one is much more serious. So the first one is called An Ill Wind, and I wrote it on Friday, just over here, this big building behind us across the river, when it was very windy. So, an ill wind. The wind seemed to softly moan as it swirled around the statue of Joan. Born in Lorraine, the sign said, burned in Rouen until she was dead. So who am I talking about? Yeah. She saved France from the English foe because the voices told her so. Suspicious, they're good up the back. Suspiciously female in a man's sphere, a heretic or a witch they fear. So instruments of cruelty were presented in an effort to force her confession. Admit you are an evil liar. Never, she said, so off to the fire. You're reading. She now sits in holy splendour, over there, rehabilitated by those that condemned her, made a saint by holy decree. That all sounds a bit strange to me. Okay, so that was the fun bit. Oh, good, I'm glad you laughed. Now this one is much more serious, and I'll do it myself. And my classmates say that it's like a black nursery rhyme. And it certainly is quite dark, and but it's a memoir. So, The Iron Bed. Jolting awake during the night, wet legs, wet sheets, candy striped, glass door allows through shafts of light that spotlights the corner and my plight. Outside is the bathroom of this old house where Tom the Prowler lurks and peeps. Going out there is not an option, so I lie in the dark, damp with the creeps. All alone in this crumbling wreck, empty attics and cellars with leaks and creaks. Locked up tight in this one good room, safe for the moment, but I spoke too soon. Water breaking, Mum would say to her friends in a whispered way. I sit up straight, trembling, groaning. I have to move. The baby is coming. Lack of knowledge was not of my making. Mrs. Haylock prevented the prenatal learning. It's not for you, dear, she said with a sneer. It's just for the married. You are quite clear. Belly aching, driving fast across town, swiftly dressed in an old hospital gown, shaved with an enema, very quick. Here's a mask, breathe deeply when you see fit. All day I watched the clouds drift away through the large windows, 16 panes I'd say, until I reached down and felt a small head. I think I need help, I called from my bed. I was whisked to a theatre, many people arrived. It seemed I was an unlikely prize. A teaching opportunity, they said as they gathered. Not for me, I could see, as I was firmly tethered. My legs were put into great steel stirrups. A sheet was hung from a pole across my middle. Just do this, just do that. No, don't do that. Leave that sheet where it is. You are not to meddle. He was softly mewing and squirming about. On my right thigh, I could feel him all right. Let me have him, I said, as I pulled down that sheet. Take him away, she demanded, without losing a beat. I know now what I didn't know when. God's police were in charge, held the reins then. I love my boy, and he loves me, but the stolen years never let me be.